What's up, guys? It's episode 42. Welcome back to the podcast. What's up, guys? It's Jacqueline. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing, my little social media freaks? How's your screen time going this week? How's it? Is it improving? Are you getting off your phone more than usual? Uh, is anyone wearing a thumb brace yet? I mean, I'm calling it now. That's going to be a thing in the next decade. Thumb braces are going to be fashionable. It'll be like the new face mask. Everyone will have one on their body. Anyways, I've been working on my screen time this week. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm trying right now to bump it back a half an hour each. I'm talking about my Instagram screen time or whatever. You know how you can plug it in you can tell it to remind you how long you've been on the app. And so anyways, I've been cutting back a half hour each week, and I feel like I don't know if it's changing my life, but I feel good about it. I feel accomplished that I'm cutting back. All right, anyways, happy Thursday. Remember back in the day I used to call Thursday Thicc Thursday? There's no reason for that, but happy Thicc Thursday. I'm gonna go into my day yesterday. I had a great day yesterday. I'm gonna introduce you guys to my mom. And do a little preview of a little phone call we had yesterday. She had no clue I was recording, but it's good. It's juicy, and you're going to hear a lot more when I go home for Christmas. We're going to have a whole Christmas podcast series where I'm going to be interviewing family and talking about the happy holidays and all that fun stuff that we do in Christmas time. So looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. The interviews are going to change the podcast because it'll be like an actual conversation instead of just me speaking out into the abyss. Just like in my apartment talking to myself every single day. It's all good. Still having so much fun, still having the time of my life doing this. So yeah, I talked to her. I'll be sharing that later on the podcast today. And then I want to get this off the table right now. If you guys want to support the show, you like what you're listening to, go over to patreon.com/tjms to become a patron. Get a shout out at the end of each episode. See all my exclusive pics and behind the scenes content that doesn't make it to Instagram. Cool. All right. Or you can go to YouTube and or you can do it all. I mean, you can support me every single way if you want to. Go to YouTube and watch this. I'm currently on camera turning my high pony into a bun for no reason. And I also ate some food at the very beginning of this. I ate a bite of an egg. That was gross. So go to YouTube to watch. Yeah. So anyways, let's get into my day yesterday. It was a great day. I podcasted, of course. I took a phone call with my boss for I haven't mentioned my job in a while. I don't know, I haven't been doing that, but I talked to him and my other coworker for a while. We Zoomed, and it was an amazing phone call. I got super hyped, super pumped up about my job, and I'm like, I just want to get really freaking good at this. And they're super supportive of me on the podcast, which is awesome. And I just really appreciate their, I guess, flexibility with me because they know I'm doing this and I'm doing work for them. So that was a great phone call. Got really pumped up at the end of it. And then I talked to my mom for 2 hours. We needed it because I realized she listens to the podcast every day and she knows what's going on in my life, but we don't actually call each other anymore. So we finally did that and it was great. Then I basically took a little 20-minute power nap. Proud of myself. It didn't last 2 hours. It was 20 minutes. That's healthy. And then I worked out. Same shit, different day, right? I worked out. I did cardio again, you guys. I feel like I'm turning back into my old self because I've been lifting super heavy lately over the last month and a half. And I've been sold that lifting doesn't make you bulky if you're a girl, but I get bulky. I know myself. I get bulky. So I gotta combine heavy lifting with a lot of cardio to keep my legs lean because I don't like to have giant quads. And so that's why I do not squat pretty much. I mean, I squat body weight just to get that movement pattern in, and I do mostly like back of the leg stuff, a lot of hip thrust, a lot of RDLs, everything that's like glute focused and not quad focused. So anyways, I did cardio again. It felt great. I feel like I'm getting my endurance back. I love cardio. I really do. So anyways, it was a great workout. Came home and I watched The Bachelorette. What a corny show. What a corny show. The phoniest premises, you know what I mean? Like just the most I am so just I don't know how to think about it, honestly. I just think it was overall it's going to be a fun season to watch. Obviously, there's a guy from San Diego, Chasen, who's on it, so I'm like actually going to pay attention to this one. And honestly, another reason why I want to watch this Bachelorette this season is because I listened to the Morning Toast with Jackie and Claudia, their podcast, like every day of the week, and they always talk about it. So I'm like, I want to be in the know. I want to know what this season's doing. So I watched it last night, and I hate to say this because I don't know much about Claire. She's Bachelorette, but she's older, well-spoken, which is nice, a lot more mature than the past Bachelorettes, but I find her to be annoying personally and kind of like it's just the verbiage, the topics, the things they talk about are just so corny. I don't also say it. So anyways, I don't know. I watched that last night. And then I went outside. I had to get something in my car, and guys, you know when I witnessed a couple break up last night, and it was really sad. So I watched The Bachelorette. I go out to get something in my car, and I'm like witnessing a breakup that seemed really heavy and hard. And I knew what I was watching because there's a girl, she was like in her Toyota 4Runner, and like one leg, she was in the driver's seat, one leg up, kind of like putting her leg, like she's about to get in the car. I'm trying to paint a picture here. How am I doing? One leg on the ground, like half in, half out. Guy's out. The guy is standing where like the door opening is, just standing there talking to her, and she's got a hand on the wheel, like she's ready to leave, and then he's doing a lot of hand motions, and like they were, you know what I mean, really passionately talking to each other, and I just knew what I was watching. And she looked distraught, he looked distraught, and yeah, it was kind of traumatizing, and that's how I ended my day. Watched a couple break up, or I don't really know. It looked like a breakup. That's what I'm going to call that. So anyways, that happened, and I slept great. Then today, hi, welcome to my vlog. Guys, today I woke up and I worked out again. I was feeling it. I was like, Jacqueline, let's go work out again. I worked out last night and woke up and rolled out of bed and went right to the gym again. And I know, you guys know, I made an intention this week to do my morning walk out in the great outdoors in fresh air, and I really wanted to be propelled by a treadmill today, because sometimes it's just different when you walk on a treadmill. I did power walking again, incline walk, and I don't know. I'm turning into a little hermit crab, a little turtle in my turtle shell, staying inside all the time, and that's not healthy. But you guys, this is like groundbreaking information. But I'm gonna go to the beach today. You guys tuning in for these life updates? I guess you are, but I'm gonna have a beach day later. I'll get that vitamin D. I'm trying to stock up before I go home to the Pacific Northwest, where there's gonna be rain and snow and coldness. I want to boost my immune system right now, so I'll be going to the beach later. That'll be really nice. And yeah, what else did I do this morning? Oh, before the podcast, I watched Whitney Cummings' latest podcast with Lex Friedman. Dude, he talks so slow and so seductively, and he's this scientist guy. He's like MIT guy, and I'm just like, he doesn't know how hot he is, and that is what's so hot about him. And I was watching this podcast like, dude, all he's missing is a British accent. Just go watch 2 minutes of Whitney Cummings' latest podcast with Lex Friedman. I was so like, whoa. Oh, and he was wearing a suit and tie. Of course he was. So that's what I did this morning. I made some eggs, Got that pre-podcast nutrition. I've been really, you guys have to understand. I went so long doing the intermittent fasting thing that I feel weird eating food before, even if I worked out. Like, I worked out this morning pretty hard. I mean, I basically went on a hike. I mean, inclined walk for an hour. 3 speed on an incline of 12, and sometimes I go up to 15. And I feel weird about eating before like noon or 1 because I used to be in this rhythm of intermittent fasting, right? So, of course, I come home, off a workout, stoked to podcast. I showered, I got my little hair up in a ponytail and put on my little outfit and my pearls, and I even painted my nails just to get prepared for you guys. And I made another fucking coffee, and I did not make breakfast for myself. And that is the problem right there. That is where the problem lies. Instead of going, hey, Jacqueline, you just worked out, you should probably get some food in you, I made another coffee. So I was like, oh, I want to get wired for the podcast. Let me do that. But then I was about to podcast, and I almost passed out. So I made a little egg. Now I feel normal. I think you guys do you hear it in my voice? I think I'm talking more slow, and I don't know. I'm drinking my coffee as I say that. All right, what's up? Let's see what else happened today. That's about it. I know I just mentioned painting my nails. I realized that I haven't really gotten girly on this podcast, and I haven't really talked about my favorite things, my favorite products, and stuff I'm into. But I have so many, like I do have a female audience out there, and family. I know a lot of the women in my life, my family members, aunts, sister, mom, grandma, all them, they like to know what Jacqueline's into, what she likes, what her favorite things are. I've got them all drinking my favorite instant coffee from Amazon, my Jacob's instant coffee. They're all drinking that now because of me. So now I'm going to share the good news about Jacqueline's current faves in the girly universe. So boys out there, this might apply to you too, because a lot of the products I use are great for men too. So here you go. Without further ado, I need to update you guys on my Vaseline. It's called Slugging Your Face. I've been putting Vaseline on my face every night. And guys, how influencer do I sound right now? Guys, okay, legit, so amazing for your skin. And it's like the last layer you apply after all your other skincare. And I swear I wake up and my face it seems gross because it's sticky and slimy. That's why they call it slugging. But it works. I've been doing it for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks now, consistently, and I don't know, my skin's doing really well. It's not breaking me out. What it does is it doesn't allow, first of all, it doesn't penetrate the skin barrier. So it might be weird to think you're putting petroleum jelly on your face, but it doesn't actually absorb into your skin and convert into like a protein that your body would absorb. I'm not a scientist, but I think that's what it is. It basically shields your face and locks in the moisture. So whatever you put on beforehand. So for me, I do retinol, I do glycolic acid, which is not good to do with a retinol at the same time. But dude, I'm trying to get those, I said really early on, episode 2 probably, I'm down to look my age. I'm starting to see all these, mid-20s women my age, even younger, do all this filler stuff, all this Botox to wrinkle prevent. But it's starting to look, I've said this so many times, I think people that don't go down that route they're looking younger. I don't know how else to say it. It's like something about a snatch tight face is starting to look more mature and old. So I'm down to look my age, but I'm still doing the retinol. I'm still doing the serums and the things to help prevent wrinkles. Like I'm not just saying I'm down to look my age. I'm not going to ever put moisturizer on my face. So anyways, I do like an acid, a retinol, serum. This is so girly. I've never talked about this stuff on the podcast. Anyways, and then the last thing, which is another favorite, is my rosehip oil. I get this all from The Ordinary, by the way, The Ordinary skincare. The current rosehip oil I'm using is from The Ordinary. And I put that on, and then I let that kind of all sit, and then I do Vaseline. So that's my little ritual, my little routine right now. I don't know. You guys can look on the camera. I do have my forehead wrinkles starting, like my in between my eyebrows. So I try to keep a. Now that I've seen myself on camera when I post my YouTube videos, I go, "Oh, your facial expressions are they're aging you." So just try to keep that face straight, girl. Um anyways, I have a theory too. Oh, this is like Jacqueline, you're going to get canceled if you say this. But people that have there's like a face, you know when like someone is full of anxiety and they make a facial expression like out of fear, that facial expression makes you have those ripply lines across your forehead. It does. So I think that's, I don't know, is that a bad thing to say? It's an observation I made, but I notice if I watch a movie, if I don't know why I pay attention to this shit, but if I noticed a trend where people's, like, the way you move your face says a lot about how your life is and how your mental health is. And like, it's gonna make, dude, crow's feet on the sides of your eyes are beautiful because that means you smile a lot. And you know what I mean? There's certain expressions that are happy and positive, and so if your wrinkles reflect that, that's you're probably having a good life. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to. Why did I say that? Now I'm self-conscious. What else have I've been into? I mentioned I painted my nails. So I use C&D nail polish, if you're wondering. And guys, if you're listening right now and you're like, Jacqueline, when are you going to tell us some more interesting stuff? Okay, just skip ahead about 10 minutes. Okay, it's coming. Just wait for it. Got some deep topics to talk about. Some helpful information for y'all. But I use C&D nail polish. It's a weekly nail polish you put on once and like once a week. And I use the shade Cream Puff. I'm showing the camera. Dude, I've never been this much of an influencer on the podcast. But yeah, I use white nail polish once a week called Cream Puff from C&D, and it stays on forever. And I use the C&D Vinyl X top coat. There you go. And then I even included, referring to a list here because I write all my podcast notes down, and I'm not ashamed of that I write stuff down before I podcast. This is not all a stream of consciousness that comes off the top of my head. I write my notes, but I wrote here my shaving cream I use, which is probably everyone's favorite shaving cream, and I don't think this is going to be groundbreaking information for any women listening out there, but Skintimate Raspberry Rain, hello, best one. It's the only one I use. It's a pink bottle, Skintimate Raspberry Rain. And then I moisturize. So this is what I want to mention. This would be great for guys too. The secret of my skin care, my body skincare, there's face skincare and there's body skincare, is almond oil. I put that shit all over my body after I shower. That is my I don't know if it's like a skincare secret, but do almond oil with a little, if you can mix that in a little bit of Lubriderm or CeraVe or some sort of plain moisturizer. You can make your moisturizer oily kind of and just put it everywhere. That's what I use. But almond oil is a fave right now. There you go. There's some influencer, I'm girly shit to talk about because I have a lot of, I know my mom, I don't know, my family probably wants, like the girls in my life probably wanted to know that. So there you go. Anyways, that Vaseline, though, is just a surprising beauty secret. Apparently Marilyn Monroe put it on her face. A lot of women in the 50s did it. So, and I told you a few podcasts ago, this probably 2 weeks ago, that I was staying up late past my bedtime, and it was like 12:30, and I was watching a 30-minute video by a dermatologist going into details about Vaseline on your face, and all the comments were like, I'm 72 and I've been putting this on my face forever, and and most people say like 42. A lot of women in the comments were like, well, first of all, why are they commenting if they're that old on the YouTube video? I guess everyone's is that ageism? Is that, what did I just do there? Is that worthy of being canceled? I'm just imagining a 72-year-old woman commenting on YouTube, and it just doesn't seem, I don't know, maybe they're on the YouTube. I think they are. They're on everything now. Anyways, but a lot of the women in the comments were raving about Vaseline, or younger girls would say, my grandma looks amazing. She puts this on her face every day. And yeah. So Vaseline. There you go. I just get mine from Amazon. So there's a coffee sip. I've been trying to think about this podcast and what I can do for you guys to help you in some way. You know what I mean? Like what kind of tips about life, like practical life tips can I talk about? I know there's so many podcasts about mindset and all that fuzzy stuff, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I think I'm trying to get my head around what am I good at and what could I teach people on the podcast here and there. And I think I've narrowed it down to like I don't know, like social tips, because I've always gotten that like, oh, Jacqueline, you're so good with people, or you're so like personable and natural, and people like me to be the greeter. I'm always the one in the front, and like I'm thinking about certain, I guess, work situations I've been in, and I naturally just want to do that. So I think if I share with you guys social tips and how to overcome like, and I've mentioned I do have social anxiety sometimes. And that doesn't make sense, but I don't know. I think my strength is being personable, charismatic with people, and I think number one, I know, and I probably heard this from a wise podcaster, like a Andy Frisella or Ed Milet type of guy out there podcasting about this, but I heard it once, and I'm the type of person where if I hear something, I cannot unlearn it. It's stuck with me forever, and this thing stuck. So, and I recognize after I heard this, I started recognizing it in conversation, and it drives me insane. So I actively avoid doing this when I talk to people. And it might be annoying because I just let people have the floor most of the time. Just let other people talk. So here's the thing. When you have a conversation and someone, they respond to what you're saying with a story that their own experience with, well, like you could be talking about one time I went on a water slide and got a wedgie. And then you say that, and then they fire back with their story about when they got a wedgie on a water slide. And so it's this ping pong of, it's almost like they're trying to one up what you just said, and that it doesn't feel good. Once you start to notice how people do that, the conversation is about, it's not like they don't sound genuinely interested in what you're talking about, because they go to, oh, my experience with that too, instead of asking further, going into follow-up questions like, oh, tell me about your wedgie. So, why did I just come up with a wedgie on a water slide? But they don't ask the follow-up questions about that experience you had. They just go to their own experience. And it's annoying, and I think my little like, oh, Jacqueline, trying to be helpful today, literally do not do that. Do not do that. In fact, I would recommend, and there's a time and a place. It helps you bond with someone when you can relate to them like that. So I think there's positives in it. But when you're first meeting someone, or even your friends that just want to tell you a story, like let them have the floor. Ask more questions related to what they're saying. Dig deeper. And that'll make them feel better than you going, you turning the conversation into a story about yourself, like right off the bat. So anyways, there's my little like social tip. Let's see what another one I have is. I think a lot of psychology about like groups and new people. And I worked a sales job earlier this year, and that's the one I lost before COVID hit. It worked very temporarily. It was like a month long job I had. Just getting started, right? But I was thinking about like when I'm in a new group and I'm trying to figure out, this is some crazy shit I do? Just stay with me here. If you're in a new group of people, let's say it's a new work environment, a new social group. I'm going to say friend group. And there's a lot of like alpha dudes and like women and there's a lot of vibrant people around, and you're kind of feeling kind of intimidated, and you're just like trying to figure out like who's who and whatnot. Pay attention. So I'm just thinking, if you're out at a dinner with a bunch of new people, maybe I don't know, I'm just thinking of like a millennial, like a meet and greet or something like that. You're just out with a group of people. You're a friend of a friend invited you to do some shit, and there's a bunch of new people, and it's a little intimidating because you might have a little social anxiety like Jacqueline, and you get a little, I'm not afraid to admit that. It's part of who I am. Pay attention to who looks at each other when there's a joke made, or when people are like a topic comes up, and pay attention to who looks at each other, because it's instinctive. People perceive like the leader So imagine if a joke gets cracked and everyone looks at one person, that person's the leader in the group. Usually. This is a psychology thing I learned about that I'm trying to share. I'm trying to be like, Jacqueline's going to be a helpful podcaster today and talk about psychology and social tips. But yeah, pay attention to who looks at each other if you're in a new group. It tells you a lot about the group and who's the leader in the group and who's the follower. And I don't know. Is that like weird? I don't know. Whatever. There you go. What else could I share with you guys that I know about? Yeah, the whole like don't make the conversation about yourself right off the bat with someone is super important. And I had a friend, so I moved to San Diego and I'm here. I've only been here for 2.5 years now, I think. Yeah. But I had a friend it was like everything I said, she had a one up with her personal story about the same topic. And it was frustrating. It felt so, like I didn't feel good after I ended a conversation with her because I don't know if she's trying to like better than me. That's what it sounds like when you do that to someone. So try not to do that. I have a note here. I mentioned yesterday that there was a hot man in the workplace when I had my sales job. I just mentioned a little bit earlier today. I'm just mentioning stuff. Anyways, I found a statistic here about workplace relationships, and 4 out of 10 workplace dating relationships end in marriage, apparently, according to science. So there you go. There's something else you learned today. I love teaching you guys shit. Oh, and then there's no rhyme or reason to this podcast really, but these are just some random things I've been thinking about or have been trying to like find, because after I podcasted, I don't know, last week, I do this every day, so I lose track of time, I lose track of days, you know what I mean? But I remember looking for this this thing I wrote about being present, being in the moment, and I couldn't find it while I was looking during that podcast, and I found it this morning, and I want to read this to you guys. It has to do with, just stay with me, let's read this. So if we are truly enjoying something to the fullest, a latte, a night with friends, a hike, etc., taking a moment to document it on our phones would be insane because we don't want to be distracted from the bliss of it. Documenting Dole's experience. So I don't know what I meant by that, but well, I do know. I think you guys do too. I think you guys already got the gist of it, and I can move on to the next topic. But here's what I wanted to say about that to follow up on the podcast where I talked about this. Taking a moment, like I used the hike example on that podcast, to film stuff, to take selfies of you on the hike, to take pictures of the scenery, is not, in my opinion, enjoying it to the fullest. The fullest is zero phone, zero documenting, 100% present. You're just there experiencing it. And I said in the thing here, taking a moment to document it on our phones would be insane because we don't want to be distracted from the bliss of it. Like the bliss of being present and being on the hike and just enjoying the hike. I don't know. This is maybe too, like, Jacqueline overthinking this. This is not, who cares? It's 2020. Everyone takes Instagram stories of the hike now. But it made me realize this thought made me realize how back in the day, I remember going on a lot of hikes with my family. That's what we did. We did a lot of hiking, a lot of camping up in the Northwest. And I realized how when I was younger, it felt so good to just be with my family, be on a hike. We didn't have phones or anything. And there's a difference when you're not there to see a cool tree and take a picture. You're there. And I even had this thought, I think a lot in the car when I drive, but I was looking around and it was my dream. I'm like, I want to go to California. I love palm trees and sunshine, right? But I've noticed I don't really take a lot of time to look around at my surroundings and appreciate its beauty anymore because I feel like, I don't know, I'm like, everything has been dulled down and I've been desensitized because of social media. Like I've mentioned before, it's like pornography addiction. It's like similar where you see something all the time. I see these aesthetic photos on Instagram that look better than the actual Well, not sunsets. That's one thing you can't emulate with a photo. But for some reason, I don't know, I don't see things like I used to when I was younger, especially nature. It's kind of screwy. I don't know. Like my life experience seems to be dulled down or dumbed down because of social media. Dude, why do I, it's the social dilemma. You guys can all watch that, and I don't need to talk about it, but there's some truths, a lot of deep stuff about that. I don't like how it takes me out of the moment, and that's what I've been. All right, this is boring. I'm gonna change the topic. I'm sorry. I was proud of myself. I think I was talking slower in the beginning of this podcast, and I was like keeping it together, and now I'm bored by what I'm talking about. So we're gonna change topics. Okay, I get to do what I want. This is my podcast. Patreon.com/tjms if you want to support the show. Become a patron, get a shout out at the end of each episode, and you can also go to YouTube to watch this. I got a high pony today, and my hair is greasy because I didn't wash it after my workout. Ew, TMI. No people watching today, but I did watch a man put that. I saw someone park. Oh no, I do have a man thing to tell you. But I saw a guy park his little car, tiny. It looks like a clown car. It's so tiny, but it's not a smart car. It's like step up from a smart car. I watched a man, this old dude. He had the New Balance dad shoes on with high socks and shorts. A cute guy, and he came out with a 12-pack of Diet Pepsi. So I just thought it was funny. The whole situation I watched before I podcasted, it was kind of funny to me. But I watched him struggle to put his windshield cover, the tinfoil looking thing where it blocks the sun. I don't know why I actually sat and watched that for 2 minutes, but he was really struggling to put it on the windshield. And I was watching him like, I kind of want to go help you. What is so hard about that? I kept falling back at him. And then he came out with a Diet Pepsi and his New Balances, and I just kind of laughed. I was like, oh, this sweet old man. But anyways, that's the people watching I have today. And also, guys, so there's a few characters in the Jacqueline Monroe show that I mention all the time. Like band bun neighbor, loud neighbor upstairs, the chairs and table, the kitchen table chairs that rustle around. And then there's my new neighbor who slams the door. But I haven't mentioned neighbor with a French bulldog, tall neighbor with a French bulldog in a while. I got to see him. So I got in my car this morning to go to the gym, and he walked past my window of my car really close. Like, he probably didn't know I was in there. I have tinted windows, right? Most beautiful man I've ever seen. Like, he is so gorgeous. And because I've always thought, oh, he's tall, he's got this little French bulldog. It's kind of like this. When people don't make sense for their dogs, this guy doesn't make sense. Like, his dog and him don't make sense. I would see him with he would be walking. If I had to pick him a different dog, not like a Saint Bernard. No, he would have like a pit bull. Honestly, he's kind of like a badass in the face. He's just a badass. But he got really close to my window today, and I was like, okay, oh shit. It's like when I saw man neighbor up close for the first time. It's like, yeah, I saw you from afar and I thought you were hot, and then I saw you up close and that confirmed it. So you just received word and confirmation today, episode 42, that French Bulldog man is hot. All right. I don't know what to do with it either. I've said this so many times, and that's how my neighbors upstairs are to me. I don't really know what their faces look like. I see them from a distance all the time when they're walking around outside, but I never get in there. I never see them up close. So it's weird once you see your neighbors up close. I don't know. All right, what else could I talk about today? My phone just went off a few times. I don't know what was happening. Let's see what's going on Instagram. If I have any DMs I could talk about. This is kind of when the podcast gets dry. I don't know. Yeah, I just went on Lex Ruben's Instagram to confirm if he was as hot as he sounded on that. He is so seductive. It's sick. He doesn't, and the thing is he doesn't know it. He's an AI researcher at MIT. And he has a podcast. Oh yeah, I can listen to him on a podcast? Shit. Oh, cat update. I didn't tell you guys. I've been looking. I've been on a hiatus. My cat's searching has been on a hiatus because I've realized that if I go home for a month for Christmas time, I can't have a little kitten right now. I probably could take it home with me as an emotional support animal, but I don't know how that paperwork goes, how long that's going to take, what kind of loops I got to jump through, hoops I got to jump through to get an emotional support kitten on a plane. So I will, oh my God, that'd be so fun to get a kitten right now, take it home to my family, and oh, dude, I just need a kid. That's what I need, let's be honest. It's my start. Got to get a little something to take care of. It's not going to be a dog. I've already established that. I don't want to do that to a dog and make it live in an apartment with me. I just want a little cat. So it's been on a hiatus, but I was on Pet Finder and then these bougie British short-haired kitten websites a lot yesterday, and I can't wait. I think it's going to come in January. Okay, this final segment of the podcast is going to be a little bit unexpected, but I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling like this was a chill, nice episode, and I want to do, like good old times, a BuzzFeed quiz. Because why not? I'm feeling like doing a BuzzFeed quiz, so let's do this together. It's a good one. It's about coffee, so I thought that it's totally me. This sweet and savory food quiz will reveal what kind of coffee matches your personality. Ooh, see, this is a good one. Let's start off with, it says first question is to choose a sweet food item. So I have donut, cookie, cupcake, or fudge. So fudge and cupcake are out. Donut or cookie? I'm going cookie. And you know what? You guys like when I talk about food on the podcast. As you say favorite things about the podcast that you DM me are nostalgia and food. So here we are talking about food right now. This is Thicc Thursday. This is the segment you are all waiting for and you didn't know it. It's Thicc Thursday. I got a fat ass and I'm talking about cookies and food right now and coffee because this is going to tell me what kind of coffee matches my personality. All right, next food is now it's time for some savory food. Oh, well, I have to pick burrito. So I have fries, tacos, onion rings, or burrito. Obviously burrito. Next, we pick a sweet food again. Cake, ice cream, pie. This is kind of stupid, actually. Now I'm like, this is a fucking 5-year-old quiz. Okay, so we have cake, ice cream, a tart, a fruit tart, or a pie. I'm gonna base this off of like what I want right now in this moment. I'm hungry because I haven't had breakfast yet. Y'all know that. I had my one egg and my caffeine. Controversial opinion. I love cake. I'm going cake. Ice cream's amazing though. I mean, it's all amazing, but I love cake. I've been thinking about I need a fat piece of chocolate cake in my mouth or carrot cake within the next week or I'm gonna go insane. I've been thinking about cake lately. I don't know why. I'm like, I haven't had cake in a long fucking time. Like a layered cake with like 5 layers and a lot of frosting. It's because I don't get invited to birthday parties anymore. I don't have a social life. Remember those days where you had so many birthday parties to attend, especially when you're in elementary school? Cake every month with someone turning in 8 in 2nd grade. Okay, anyways. I want cake. Choose a savory food next. Hot dog, popcorn, mozzarella sticks, or pizza. Pizza? Duh. Okay. Choose something sweet again. Cake pops. Stupid. Pudding. Like, fuck a cake pop. I want to eat a slice of cake. Cake pops, pudding, muffin, or cheesecake. Oh, that muffin looks good. Okay, I want this muffin because it looks like a Costco blueberry muffin. Dude, Costco muffins. I remember so many times, like in my childhood experience, that doesn't make any sense. Let me start over. I did a lot of fun bike ride races when I was a kid, where you get a little number and you go do a little bike ride race around springtime and stuff. And there was always a pit stop with a bunch of Costco muffins, and I loved those Costco muffins, the poppy seed and the blueberry muffin specifically. Finally, choose something savory again. This is the last question, I believe. Choose something savory again. Bagels, grilled cheese, pasta, or I'm going to butcher this, biryani. Looks like a Indian cuisine food. Bagels, grilled cheese, pasta, or biryani. I love bagels. I love it all. You know what I mean? Pasta's great. How could I not choose pasta? I'm going to go bagel. Because it's the morning. I'm just feeling like that bagel right now. I'm an iced mocha. That's what I got on my quiz. I got iced mocha. You're a cool, popular, and highly ambitious person. This quiz, it knows me so well. You are a jolly, you have a jolly, happy attitude. You make friends everywhere you go. Dude, I'm an iced mocha, bitch. That's cool. So that was fun. There's your little Thicc Thursday segment. I kind of want to do it again and change my answers to see what I get. It says retake. You can retake the quiz. I know. Is that stupid? I know a 5-year-old could have done that, and it's like sort of immature, but I don't know. This podcast makes me feel so good and so happy and content and chill, and I'm just having like the best Thursday. Here's how the rest of the day is going to go. Jacqueline's going to post this, and then I'm going to make breakfast and go to the beach and potentially work out later again. I don't know. I get nervous when I do all this cardio. I'm like, Jacqueline, your ass is going away. You gotta go lift tonight. Gotta go do some more hip thrust. I get really nervous. I don't notice. I think it doesn't happen that quickly, obviously, losing muscle, because I can build muscle so fast. I've mentioned this so many times, how I can do like 2 weeks straight, 3 heavy glute days for 2 weeks, or 3 a week. It's crazy. I just build muscle really fast. It's my genetics. I don't know. So that's going to be my day. I'm trying to think of if I have any other shit to do. That's about it, honestly. I'm going to call this podcast now. I'm going to end it. Post this on YouTube as well. So you can watch it there. Or you can go to Patreon and become a patron to support the show. Someone asked me yesterday if I'm going to start a P.O. box, or they want to send me stuff from Saudi Arabia. And I don't have that set up yet. I shut it down. I had it set up, and then I shut it down because I got really in my head about, it's too soon, Jacqueline. Who do you think you are, starting a podcast and a P.O. box at the same time? Like, you got to get a couple years under your belt, Jacqueline. So I don't know. I'm thinking at the earliest I'll start that next year. I'll do a little P.O. unboxing, maybe on a Friday each week. But that's coming. That's about it. That's all I have to say today. You guys have a great Thursday. I hope you're happy and fulfilled in whatever you're doing with your life right now, because that's really important. Fulfillment, if you're personally fulfilled in what you're doing, especially work, that makes you fulfilled. That will translate into happiness. That's what I've learned about podcasting. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to podcast. And I know what actual happiness feels like now, because I'm like living my dream. I'm so fulfilled doing this, and I can't recommend it enough. So there's your little somber, sweet life advice there. And I was talking to my boss about this yesterday. My boss, I just like calling him my boss. He's so cool. But he was telling me, or I was kind of explaining to him the format and the gist of my podcast and why I'm doing it and everything. And I totally brought up how I've identified that, we're all doing the social media thing. We're all going to be friends online with strangers on the internet. You know what I mean? And I've identified that, and I've decided to show up long format on a podcast every day, so people really, they know. I want to lead and prioritize this over aesthetics and vanity and the pretty influencer stuff, because this feels the most authentic and the most real and natural out of all the other stuff I've dabbled in, especially YouTube vlogs, even, because that was all edited, and it was all curated and edited, and this is one take. I don't edit anything, and it feels so great to show up online for you guys as if we're friends and you're hanging out with me, and that's so cool. So I'm a daily podcast host. I want to be your new internet bestie, because you've maybe followed me on Instagram before and you're like, who's this girl? You know what I mean? But now it's you guys are going to know a lot. I mean, shit, that little conversation I posted with my mom earlier on the podcast today, there's more to the story. You guys don't know. You're only a month in with me. There's a lot more I'm going to talk to you guys about my life. And that's going to be fun. It's going to be good for all of us. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great Thursday, And stick around if you're a patron for your patron shout out. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.